Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, we're having part one of a two-part video about the state of the collection. So let's get started on part one. I tried to do this in alphabetical order. It didn't end up that way, but I started that way. So the first one I started with my Beauvais 1822, 1930. This was sort of part of the reopening of Beauvais when Pascal Raffi bought it. Uh, anyway, he sort of wanted to do things to really bring back Beauvais with its characteristics, not try to do something that was totally different from Beauvais, and I think he did a heck of a job. The 1822 1930 is sort of looks like what they did originally with pocket watches. They soldered on these lugs to them and then put the strap on them. Second one is Chanel Monsieur watch. This watch I absolutely love. Caliber 1 jumping hour, retrograde minutes. It's got a 3-day reserve with double barrels, and it's 4 hertz. Now, this one, Chanel owns part of Romain Gauthier, and in developing the movement, uh, he had a hand in it, and they also, Chanel also owns a friendly share of Romain Gauthier. So his style and his parts you can see in this watch. Now, this next one is one there's so many reasons I enjoy this watch. Chaumet doesn't make watches for men anymore. I guess they gave up. The name Chaumet Dandy, it wasn't exactly the most exciting name, but I got to tell you, you want to watch a great dress watch, not this particular one, but anyone. They are so well made. By and large, they have ETA movements or maybe even Salida movement, but they also have some really good movements too. Now, the one I got has got a base movement of an ETA, but it has a module by Agenor, a 4202, and what they are these two very large gears called Agenais. And this particular one, they have a model of the Paris Ferris wheel where normally a second hand would go, but they figured, well, let's put the Ferris wheel in. The smoothness of it, and this is because the Agenais gears have these little springs in the teeth, and so there's absolutely no slippage at all, and you see this wonderfully smooth movement. Uh, it was a bargain buy too. Love this watch. It's hard to read oftentimes. It's hard to set, hard to wind. They have the crown right under this sort of off the top of the lugs. It's sort of under the lugs. Wonderful watch, but everything about it is a bit awkward. Except when I wear it, I just love it. Okay, moving right along here. Now, these two watches, this is something very interesting that happened this year. LVMH owns Bulgari, and Bulgari had some time ago had hired Daniel Roth, and they hired the name along with it. So they own the name Daniel Roth, and for a number of years, Daniel Roth had to operate under another name, making these really fantastic tourbillons and things like that. Well, there was a period, I think it was in the 80s and 90s, when Roth had been working for Breguet, bringing back Breguet from the dead under the Chaumet brothers. Well, the Chaumet brothers got themselves in big trouble, went broke, as so Daniel Roth started his own eponymous brand called Daniel Roth. So they have this elliptical curvex I guess the case, and where it's rounded at the top and the bottom, it sort of looks like a rectangle that changed its mind. It wanted to be round. Love these two watches. The one on the left is a Daniel Roth Premier Retrograde. This watch, take a look at the hours, and you say, how do you figure that one out? And it's a lot of fun. And then it has a hand date down at 6 o'clock. This watch is very accurate. It's got a caliber DR 700-10, which is based on the Lemania 27NL Iboche. Now, the Daniel Roth Metropolitan is one. It's another one that's a lot of fun. For some reason, it gives you the city that is exactly 12 hours opposite of wherever you are. Now, mine's set to the time zone in New York City, and above it, you can see Bangkok, which means that's 12 hours difference. So if it's 7 o'clock a.m. in New York, it's 7 o'clock p.m. in Bangkok. So that's sort of a fun watch. I mean, it's, I think, other kinds of things. I think China is also in the same time zone, so you got a lot of stuff there. Now, the thing that's a little hard to see, but it's over in the corner down there, right off of the 8 and off the 10. It'll say 40, and then off of that, you'll see a little S, and then off the 50, at the top up there, it has a W. And what that is that there are these pin pushers you can't see. They're sort of on the side of it. And when you have a time change, you push one or the other, and it'll either jump ahead an hour or jump back an hour. Great thing. Love this watch. Now, let me tell you something. If you can find these for a reasonable price somewhere, take a look at them. When they came out with the new Daniel Roth, one of the newest ones they had was a simple, time-only three-hander that has the same elliptical curvex case. $42,000. It was, now it's a gold case, but I don't know. You ought to be able to pick up either one of these if you're interested under $10,000. Okay. Next one. This is one of my favorite watches ever. It's FP Journe Chronometre Souvain, caliber 1304, double barrels in parallel. Just love this watch. It's just, I like everything about it. Platinum, it's my only platinum watch. I can't tell the difference between platinum, white gold, and steel, so that's not a big deal with me, but I like the feel of it and everything about it. This was one of the ones that I got at the right time, at the right price, and I couldn't afford one now. So anyway, FP Journe, I really, really, really like it. If you come across one at a good price, pick it up. Okay, now these next two, these are like two watches, both of them were under $100. Now the reason I got them, the Farve-Luba Twin Power model, the reason I got them is because they had double barrels in parallel. Double barrels in parallel are very, very hard to find outside of very expensive watches. Schwartz ETN, I think, has one, a hand-wound one that's really very nice, but that's sort of getting up there. Now, these two, I think I got them at Epsi, or they were under $100. For a while, Farve-Luba was owned by a company called Tata, which is a big conglomerate in India. And so they had some very, very good deals on these. I think they may have gone back to Switzerland, where they got their start. The movement is caliber FL 259, manual wind, 18,000 semi-oscillations per hour, which I really like. If you want a very inexpensive watch with one of the more interesting constant force elements, the double barrels in parallel, you might want to take a look at these. These are fun. Now, this next one, this one is another one I got a long time ago, Harry Winston Premier Bio Retrograde. This is when I first ran into Agenor. I had heard that Jean-Marc Viderec had been doing some of the work on for Harry Winston. He and Roger Dubuis. And so I thought, well, I'll contact Agenor and see what I can find out. Well, they were fantastic. They sent me a picture of the AGH 2351, which is the mechanism for the double retrograde. There's a retrograde seconds that goes pretty quickly. Then there's a retrograde days of the week. Now it has a base movement of a Girard-Perregaux caliber 3106. A friend I contacted at Girard-Perregaux dug up all of the information on it. Very grateful to him. The case was by Les Bauteurs de Genève, which is owned by F.P. Journe. So it's sort of a fun watch. These watches, they're really a good deal. Rose gold. Take a look around, see if you can see them. I mean, a bunch of them got snatched up, but still, you can find some around for some really good buys. I got a great buy on this from an AD of all places. It had been used, but it hadn't been used very much. It had been owned by somebody else. It should be pre-owned, but wasn't very pre-used. Okay, moving right along. Now, one of my favorite companies is H. Moser et Compagnie, and I have two watches by them. Now, they were from sort of, there was a period when H. Moser sort of was going down the drain, and a new group of I guess, investors bought it, and they involved, one of the people involved was a relative of the original Moser. And so they started, they got this company that it was called Precision Engineering along with it, which was a big part of it. They make these fantastic movements. Well, that's what they did. And they came out with these two. This one, the one on the left with the orange gator strap on it, it's called the Endeavor Center Second, but the first name that it had was a Monard. Really, who came up with that name? Anyway, but it's a wonderful watch. It's a weekly winder. Wind it up. It's good for. This is what's interesting. It's good for what they would call a chronometer 7 days. Now, what a chronometer 7 days means is that it'll keep chronometer good time for 7 days. Now, after that, it'll keep on ticking for 8 or 9 days, but they can't guarantee the exact chronometer time after that. The other one is the H. Moser Company Henry Double Hairspring. Now, this watch is really amazing. A double hairspring, what it does is that you have the hairsprings like this oscillating in opposite directions sort of create opposite torque, and so your balance shaft doesn't go all over the place, and so it keeps it even. It's sort of like when I used to fly, the guys who had planes with two propellers, each one would go in different directions, so the plane, when you're making your takeoff run, will go, because you have torque pulling in opposite directions, and so it balances it out. I had a single engine plane, and I had to stomp on the left rudder, otherwise it wanted to pull that way, and I had to pull it back that way because of the torque. And this works on the same principle, and there was some research they did on it and found out, yes, it works. It actually does help keep constant force. Okay, now this next one is sort of a weird thing. In fact, if you're interested, I'm going to sell these. I've enjoyed them for a long time, but I found out that I'm just not using them as much. And this is a Jaeger 736. Jaeger 736 was a movement made by Jean-Pierre Jacquet in a company called Jacquet SA, which is now called La Pierre Perret. Okay, it's hand wound, it's a shape movement, and it's probably based on an Iboche from ETA 7001, which was originally a Pazu 7001, which is a nice little movement, hand wound. It was just a movement that I liked. And so I thought, well, this is cool. So I started finding all of these different watches that use that movement. And what happened, Jean-Pierre had to go away after he and some other knotheads were convicted of stealing some Rolex cases and a bunch of other stupid stuff they did, and so they went to the Hoosgow and kicked out of ever being in. But I was talking to Roland Murphy, who also had used some of the Jacquet 736 movements in RGM watches, and he told me some stuff, but it was very clear he didn't want to talk about it because of all the trouble he got into. But the ones I have here, I had another one. I had a Jacquet Droz with a Jacquet 736, no relation. The one on the upper left is a Maurice Lacroix masterpiece, rectangulaire. Right below it is a Jacquet Etoile, Estes Park. Sorry about my pronunciation, 1912. The very bottom, middle is a Philippe Dubois et Fils Reserve de Marque. And then the upper right-hand corner, this is one my wife decided she wanted. It's a rose gold or yellow gold Alfred Dunhill 8041 facet. This has got a facet crystal on the front. What a watch. This is a great watch. Taken away from me. I lost it. I don't blame her. I like it too. I found a good deal on a green gator strap for it. Beautiful. But anyway, if somebody is interested in and wants one of these, let me know. Except for the Dunhill, that doesn't belong to me. It is property of my wife who took it from me. Okay, moving right along. Well, we won't be moving along right this minute. The second half of the State of the Collection videos will have to wait until Monday. It would have, had we done it all in one video, would have been 43 minutes long. So I thought it'd probably be a better idea to cut it in half and have half now and then half on our next video. So on the Monday's video, where we normally have our best pocket video, we'll have the second half of the State of the Collection. Like to know what you think so far. This is an opportunity to subscribe. And until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection.